Well, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA, not COPA, was passed back in 1998 and enacted in 2000. Basically, it's a marketer's law. It says to companies that you can't collect, use, or disclose personally identifiable information from a child without first obtaining verifiable parental consent. And that doesn't mean sending a parent to a 10-page privacy policy, but rather delivering privacy notices that the parent can understand, what data is being collected, how it's going to be used, how long it's going to be retained, why it's necessary. For that matter, not collecting any more information than is necessary to allow the child to participate in the activities of the service that they're engaging with. So, COPPA breaks down to things like, what is verifiable parental consent? Well, that means a company needs to use reasonable methods in light of available technology to ensure that the person providing that consent is a parent or guardian. But in any case, the law sort of laid out what we call a sliding scale that allows us to start with a child requesting some online contact information to reach their parent and to walk them through the process. And depending on what data is being collected, how it's going to be used is going to drive just how verifiable parental consent is. And then, of course, another issue is, what is personally identifiable information? It's all about collection, use, disclosure of personally identifiable information. So, of course, we think of, a name, an address, a social security number, medical data, but COPPA also covers things like profiling and building a profile about a child and what they click and like and what they decide to do, and sort of building that into a framework that they could then be marketed to. So all of that is governed. As well, when you give a child access to a service that they can share their own personal information, logged into a game, and they can chat with anybody that's in game. When their data is being allowed to flow, then you're triggering COPPA at a higher level. You really need to do a better job of ensuring the assurance level you have that a parent is in the mix, and it's not just children sort of fibbing at the gate and permissioning themselves. So those are some of the basics. It's governed by the Federal Trade Commission. It's been a number of companies that have been fined. And of course, one of the big issues also that I should have mentioned early on is, what is it? Who does it protect? Children are deemed 12 and under. That the age of consent in the US, the digital age of consent, is 13. So the magic age of 13 is known by many kids and a number of parents now. Why does my kid seem to need to be 13 everywhere? And it really comes down to privacy protections end when you turn 13 currently in the US. COPPA doesn't put a restriction or a moratorium or a mandate on companies telling them that they cannot engage with their interested customer, which may very well be a child. It's not meant to marginalize children's access to services. The law is a framework that allows for children to engage, initiate on services that they're interested in. And those services, if they need data to do what they do, if they want to provide personalized messaging or allow a child to engage with others in a community, or perhaps enter a contest and upload their videos, any of that is data. It needs data, and parents need to be in the loop. So the law basically says you have to notify a parent of your privacy practices and get informed consent from the parent before you can embark on a more personalized strategy of engaging with children online.